Okay, my name is Zephania Mwando. I'm a pre-sales engineer for Dahua Technology Kenya, and today I'll be making a presentation on three items from Dahua solution. That is the video management system. We call it DSS. Then I'll also make a presentation on storage, embedded video storage servers. Then the third bit would be on display and how we achieve display and control in different cases for this. So just stay tuned as I start to present what is objected for today. Let me just share the screen. I hope you can see my screen. Kindly confirm that. Okay, so starting with DSS. DSS is a video management system that covers different cases. And in this case, we have these topics for discussion. What is DSS? Then the different products we have on DSS. Also, the functions you have on DSS. Then features. We can do an overview of the success cases we have for DSS. Okay, so what is DSS? DSS is Dahua Security System. So it's an application-based kind of system which consumes what you have, but you can scale it as big as your organization grows or as big as the surveillance requirements grow. Looking at this responsibility or position matrix, we have different softwares. Generally, we have the different brands and then the position. So you'll see like at the bottom, we have a Vigilon, SCC, then Hick Central. Hick Central Professional. Then we have DSS there. Then we have Genetech, which is the higher position and milestone. But DSS gives us a lot of features with the ability to integrate up to 20,000 video channels. Then it's built by Dahua as a company. I hope you have an understanding of why we have Dahua. So why we choose DSS is because of the unification aspect, the possibilities that you get, the ability to integrate videos, access control. You're also able to integrate video intercom, alarm, some AI features, and more. With a single interface, you can manage everything and spend less time doing maybe divided sharing and management of your surveillance and security system. So when you have separate systems, of course, the cost of labor goes high. But in this case, when we use DSS, we manage from one point, which makes the cost. Then looking at some features we have about DSS, look at the interface. This is the typical interface you'll find. Then we have some AI-powered applications that we can achieve. As long as you're doing edge processing of these AI functions, then we can push them to DSS. Things like face recognition, human and vehicle metadata, maybe some face analysis, heat map, all of these applications we can integrate and pull them to DSS. Then in terms of the design, I talked about the ability to scale and manage growth easily. So what happens is we have deployment which can be distributed. We have multi-site management and functionality upgrade. So you can easily upgrade based on the functions you need. Then for multi-site, we can have DSS in multiple sites and it can integrate. Then for the integration solution, we are looking at also the wide variety of applications. So I'm going to mention third-party access control integration, and we've even had some cases on things like Paxton. Then we have third-party system for HR through APIs, that is for access control and attendance. Then parking lot management system. Then we have third-party database synchronization. So we can easily synchronize third-party databases. Then we have through OnVIF, we can integrate with third-party video devices. We even support some third-party protocols locally on DSS.
Recording in progress.
Sorry about that. Then for alarms, we just introduced the SIA alarm linkage process, which makes it even easier to integrate with any third-party alarm system that supports SIA. In the past, we did not have this. Then we have customization service, but only this is supported on DSS Pro. So you must be keen on that specific function of customization. So let's say things like you want a special function built on DSS and it's not already included, then we can support it through the customization of DSS. So we have a team that would help to do that. Then the family we have on DSS, we have these versions, DSS Express and DSS Pro, that is from the software family. So DSS Express, to highlight some of the functionalities which we'll be talking about, maybe, so the whole point is pay as you go. You start with free 64 video channels, but you can expand with licenses to up to 256 channels. Then we have DSS Professional, which is now highly scalable system for enterprise. Then in the software family, we have the ability to upgrade from DSS Express to DSS Pro license using the Express to Pro licenses. Then we have the all-in-one servers, which we have DSS 4004 that will be delisted at the end of this month. So we are not going to promote it anymore, but to look at DSS 7016D and 7016DR-S2. So this is an all-in-one platform. It's a single server. You can install 15 hard disks for storage backup, but we'll also look at the different functions. But the whole point is this one comes with all licenses activated, so no need to purchase external licenses and all that. Then we have DSS Express highlights. So it's a single server deployment, so you can only deploy it in one site. But look at the highlights. We have 64 video channels, 256 video channels with license. Then it's easy to integrate with access control, video intercom, and AI features like face recognition and ANPR, also video metadata. So for small setups, this is convenient. Then you can always upgrade and purchase more licenses as the business case expands. Then we have DSS Professional, which handles multiple sites. One highlight is it can take multiple DSS Express sites and then integrate with the same platform. So this gives us the power to integrate with different points and also scale and expand to different levels on the same. So
M30. M30. Yeah.
Sorry? Okay, I'll just proceed. Then we have this other bit of DSS 7016D-S2. So one highlight, it has a small display screen and supports 15 additional hard disk slots. So with this DSS 7016, we're able to run and deploy with the following powerful features: up to 1,000 channels per server, but we can also distribute the deployment and achieve 5,000 channels in one deployment. Then up to 2,000 video intercoms per server. So if you're doing distributed, we can even do more. Then we have high storage performance. It has 15 built-in storage disks and supports 200 TB per server, maximum 1 terabyte through distribution. And look at the bandwidth of each server is 600 Mbps. So if you're doing more than 600 Mbps, you must get an extra server. Then in terms of reliability, usually we have the hot standby system design, which it supports with the N+M redundancy. And this makes it more stable to deploy. And look at the features it supports, just like the others. It supports video, it supports access control, it supports video intercom, it supports face recognition, number plate recognition, and also ONVIF. ONVIF is a protocol used for third-party integration. So when a company or a manufacturer is compliant to ONVIF, we can add their device to DSS. So we only need to check for the compatibility. Then for display, we usually link with either a control, a matrix, or a decoder. Then we connect to the video and we then get a complete system. Then for access and managing DSS on daily basis, we use DSS client and DSS app. Then this, because it will be delisted, so no need to highlight on it more. So I'll just skip that one and then move to the mobile app. So we have two apps, DSS Agilate. And look at the functions it gives you. It's a mobile app that is available on both Google Play and App Store. Why we get this is to do live view, playback, add some videos to favorites, access files, manage access control, check face recognition, object detection, and video intercom. So generally, DSS Agilate is the mobile client for people who are moving in different locations and all that. Then we have DSS Agile VDP for video intercom management. So with DSS Agile VDP, we're able to give each resident access to their specific unit door, and then they can unlock remotely and also receive video intercom calls from remote setting. Then we have the product layout. So for the product layout, we have the support for different functionality. So it's just a comparison of the different functions. But generally, for all-in-one, we have DSS 7016, which is enterprise. It supports hot standby. It supports hot plug and play. Also, it's reliable because we even have support for redundant power supply if required. So the application is if in a case where we have maybe less than 5,000 video channels, then there's no customization service provided for this server. So when you're going for it, you must be keen on that. Then for software bit, that we install on Windows kind of systems. So we can install in Windows Server 2019, 2021, the variation, but we have it in two flavors, DSS Express and DSS Pro. And the application of DSS Express is only for small, medium business case. And then for enterprise, we apply it using DSS Professional. Then if you look at the comparison again, DSS Express supports single server deployment, while DSS Pro supports hot standby distribution and multi-site. So it's scalable even with the design, and we can also support customization. Then look at the expansion capabilities. DSS Express only limited to 256 video channels, 8 face recognition, and 8 ANPR channels. Then for access control, only 64 door channels. For video intercom, maximum of 256 devices. So when you have depleted these quantities, then you get DSS Pro. You get DSS. Sorry? Okay. So with DSS Pro, we can do up to 20,000 video channels. Then building chain stores, parking lot. So if you want to manage such, you can use this, especially if the application case is going to give us even a bigger deployment and expansion. Then moving on to some extra comparisons. So we look at this, the deployment of DSS Express and DSS Pro. So DSS and also the all-in-one machines. So DSS software runs on Windows-based systems, while DSS 7016 runs on Linux-based systems. Then if you look at these other device management attributes, we look at DSS Pro supporting all of them with different capabilities, but DSS Express and DSS 4004 supporting maybe, for example, let me compare number of video intercom per server, VDP per server. Free version does not have for Express, but the license supports maximum 256. DSS Pro supports 2,000 devices. DSS 4004 1,000, and then DSS 7016 2,000 devices. So with this kind of comparison, you can know exactly which server to go for, or when you're doing deployment, which functions you're looking for. Then we have other applications like central storage. And if you're looking at the bandwidth itself, DSS Pro and DSS 7016 support the same bandwidth capacity. Then per server storage, DSS Express free version is only 7 days or 2 terabytes. Then DSS Express license version is only 2 terabytes. DSS Pro 400 terabytes. 4004 100, then 7016 200 terabytes. Then if you look at some AI applications like Deep Explore, all of them support Deep Explore. All of them support Event Center so that they can view events. Then for video, only the free version does not support video, but the other versions support videos. But DSS Express license version of video function can only be achieved through the video decoder. Then some add-ons, things like entrance and exit, we can only support on DSS Express and all-in-one. Then complete parking lot, we support on DSS Professional. Then some main functions we have on DSS. So we have the 3 security application where we're looking at events before they happen, when they happen, and after they happen. So we have this comparison. So we have the monitoring center to monitor and do live view so that we can detect events before they happen. Then we have during the event itself. So we have the event center where we can monitor alarms. We monitor alarms as they come in. Then we have Deep Explore. We use Deep Explore to track, check playback, and all track, maybe extract information that we need from events after they have happened. Then looking at the monitoring center, so we have some features that you would get, things like playback, live view. We have other features like face recognition, maps, event monitoring, access control, web pages, and ANPR. Then we have on the mobile client, the mobile app, where you can also achieve. So it gives us the equivalent of monitoring center. We also have the video itself as a function, but now for the video to be achieved on DSS, we use a decoder or a matrix, then we can deploy to a video. Then the event center, we have these three attributes: the dashboard itself, where we can do analytics on the events. Then we check also real-time events. So as alarms occur, they can pop up to the DSS client. Then we can also search through event history and see. So we have this process where we get events from the source. They give us soft triggers. Then we do linkage, things like pop up on video walls, do commands to third-party system through HTTP and CGI commands. Then we can do third-party event synchronization support. Then we have Deep Explore itself. So what Deep Explore gives us, we can search through face capture, body capture, vehicle capture, non-motor vehicle capture, access records, and MPT records. But one thing I must highlight is the edge devices must support this. So let's say things like face capture. Camera with face detection can give us face capture images, then which we can use to search through the system to make your time for searching maybe for an incident or a person less. Then we have things like tracking of activity. So I can just upload your face or picture, and then we track how you walk through the premise or through an area. Then we just support AccuPick. So AccuPick is an attribute where we're able to follow people. We track them and even get them in real time and also in playback. This video is giving us maybe how AccuPick works to be specific. So like we pick this person, then we search through footage. We can set a specific similarity and then search. It will give us images of where this person has appeared in the system. Then we're able to play back the short clips, even export and see maybe if the event and incident has happened. So we have to process AccuPick through DSS. So that is the power it gives us using Deep Explore menu. So we can select like that. Then we do tracking of the path of how this person moved in the premise. So once you install products, you just get to know where exactly that has shown up and search. You can also do AccuPick, search through like this. You can change the similarity and time range. Then you can track this person. For vehicles, the same case. We're able to pull up an AccuPick camera. Then we check through the records, track maybe a specific vehicle where it shows up. Then we're able to pick it in footage. So we do AccuPick on this. So we just pick this vehicle and also search for its similarity, and it will give us incidents where this vehicle has been sighted on all the cameras that are supporting this feature have been installed. So this is a highlight feature that will help us in saving time playback. Then for access, we have different levels. For access control and lift control, where we do control for who can access which floor and such things. Then we have visitor management, where we can use the visitor's face and QR code to give them a pass into the premise, the specific door. Then we also have support for video intercom as an application. Then for access control, we have personnel management. Then a management of access rules. Then also remote access, so we can remotely verify and unlock those. We call that remote verification. So we divide and monitor access control based on how we want to achieve. Then we have, for visitor management, we get two options. Number one is you register on site. When you arrive, we register you, and then you get permission to get into the places you are authorized. Then once you finish the visit, you check out, and then we can always track the record. Then by appointment, we can book you. So we guess you are coming today in the afternoon. I book you today and share with you the QR code. When your vehicle arrives, the number plate recognition unlocks the barrier for you. You get into the premise, you scan the QR code, or I can use also your face image, you scan to the face terminal, and then you get into the premise. Then once you finish, you check out. Again, we can trace these records in the system. Then we have video intercom management, things like calling the app user directly from the DOS indoor unit, calling the indoor monitor, calling the indoor monitor and the app at the same time, then calling the indoor monitor and forwarding to the app when there is no response. The application we use for this is called DSS Agile VDP, which is available on both Play Store and iOS App Store. Then we have intelligent analysis. Some analysis we get are things like people counting, how many came in, how many left. Then we have heat maps. Then we have in area number analysis, so we can count how many people are in a set area. If they are overcrowding, we trigger an alarm for someone to respond using DSS. Then for parking, we have different cases that we use to manage. I mentioned that DSS 7016 and DSS Express, they only support the entrance and exit management, but the comprehensive parking lot is managed by DSS Pro. But the whole point this architecture is giving us is the topology is network-based. So at the entrance and exit system, we connect the camera and the VTO to the switch. Then the outdoor parking space indicator and counter, we also connect all of this to a switch, and then we're able to manage the internal and external parking areas, including features like counting how many vehicles are available, how many parking spaces are occupied, how many are available, counting also, we're doing things like illegal parking detection and parking violations, such things. We can even integrate the entrance and exit system or the parking system with a payment system based on the requirement. Then for parking lot management, the cases, so entrance and exit management, we have parking space guidance, so we guide you inside the parking with this kind of detectors and indicators. Then we have car location search. When you're not sure where you parked your vehicle, you can just key in the number plate, and then we find exactly where it is from. Then visualization on DSS, so we get to see which ones are occupied, which ones are available. Then for analytics, we do parking rate and all that, parking turnover, parking space usage, which times is the parking area busy, which times it is not. Then we have an intelligent inspection plan. So let's say you're monitoring maybe a gauge, temperature gauge, heat, maybe heat prone, let's say like a power station. We can use intelligent analysis to create a plan to keep inspecting that and give you alerts in the event we have maybe high temperature changes or maybe an alert temperature level obtained. So we always use this to improve the quality and minimize maybe the resources you would allocate for someone to do routine checkup. Then we have MPT application, that is the body camera application on DSS Pro. We have real time, we can record through the body camera and send to DSS Pro using the 4G network, or if you have a wide area network that the body camera can connect. Another option would be if there is no network, the moment the MPTs return to the center, it docks to the docking station, and then the videos get uploaded to DSS directly. Sorry about that, I had small interruption. But looking at MPT applications, so number one application is doing file retrieval, and number two application is doing group talk. So we can do push to talk and talk. One group, we can do 100 users. So we can do up to 30 groups. Then the device we're supporting currently, MPT-220. MPT-320 has been stopped, so we'll be removing it in future presentations. Then the next bit is the maintenance center. In the maintenance center, we are watching things like how many cameras go offline. When they go offline, what action do we take? And then we resolve and mark it on DSS. We also look at the topology, network topology. So if you're running all Dahua switches, you can even get the network topology. If you have a fault, you know exactly where, which switch and all that. Then some key features that we would have in terms of flexibility is we support different interface types. So DSS is compatible with most Dahua products and third-party devices. Methods that we can add devices to include IP address. We can add on both local and the internet IP addresses. We can use P2P, which is the Dahua cloud service. We can use auto register where devices forward traffic to DSS. Then we can also use the DNS. Then DSS supports multiple clients. That is the desktop client and also the mobile client. Also, you can log in by domain name. Then it adapts different network environments on both local and public network. If you need to access DSS, we have one deployed here, also available on the public network. So I can also share logins and credentials so that you experience it in the event that you need to test. Then the device applications, you'll have the variety that is supported. Then for storage, we have different cases of storage. Number one storage that we have is on site, we have EVS server with cameras, then DSS Pro supported. So this is called edge storage or central storage. So you're doing a double backup for this, and then you retrieve it on DSS. Another bit that you would have is device storage and backup storage. But now at center, devices don't store direct. Instead, they use the iSCSI service to write to storage and also play back whenever you need. Then the last bit we have is central storage. So we have the cameras capturing, but only DSS does recording. So if you ask me, recording local and also the backup, the first two would be more reliable in the event that we use. For projects, we recommend the first and the second options based on budget availability. Then in terms of flexibility, we can also do event pictures be getting stored on EVS. We can also do it on the edge devices, that is EVS, NVR, IVSS, and XVR. So we choose the storage based on how our application case is and also the budget that we may have for our deployment. Then in terms of expansion, we start with DSS Express free version, then expand to licensed version and professional licensed version. Then for the projects, we have 2000 channels, 500 DOS, and 2000 VDP. So it is based on which application you want to achieve. Then you can choose which one you want to expand. Then for distribution and multi-site deployment, we have the main server and sub-servers. We have one thing I'll talk about distribution is the DSS Pro can only be main site, but DSS Express cannot be the main site. So when you're doing this kind of deployment, you must weigh between the two. Then in terms of security, we have different standards to secure your application. So we have the 3 or 4 case application standards. So we have the application security on DSS itself. We support encryption and all that. Then you have privacy. Everyone gets an account to access and manage whatever they have. Then you have network security, where whatever we transmit through DSS and receive is also encrypted. then the data stored is also encrypted. So we support these kinds of encryption. And then in terms of system security and stability, we support the main server and host standby server. We also support the main and sub server, so you can deploy based on the application that you have. Then we have the three-tier user authority management for safety use. So we have 3 levels. So the super administrator by default is called system. You can create other super administrators. Then we have the administrator and then the normal user. So looking at this application, the super administrator can create normal user. The super administrator can create administrator. The administrator cannot create super administrator. They can only create the normal user. So you give these roles based on who is getting and achieving what. Then some success cases that we have, maybe in Lebanon, we have a complete DSS deployment. In Madrid, also here in Nairobi, we have some different cases. So in the event you need authorization, we can always share. So that covers the brief introduction of DSS, which was the first point of this introduction training. The second point goes to EVS storage. So I'm trying to open it. Okay, so I have this storage that I'm about to share. Okay, on storage, we have embedded video storage, which I'm calling EVS in this presentation. So this is a storage servers, which we have variety. So some new things we get this quarter, we can configure duration based on interface prompts. So we can set how much space this camera can consume so that we only know which storage can record for how long and such. Then we do compatibility with AccuPic cameras. So we have supporting EVS models, EVS 5 series, 5016S, and then we have 51, 24, 36, and 48, 71, 24, 36, and 48, 72, 85, then EVS 8, 2, 24, 36, 48. When I talk about 24, 36, 48, I'm talking about the storage base. Each, like when I say 5016S, so it's a 16 bay. It supports 16 hard disks. So in the event you need to expand, you can add more hard disks. So you can, when choosing this server, you choose based on which size you want to achieve. Then also in future, we are going to add direct storage for Dahua CyberCity. CyberCity is big for Dahua city level management. But in terms of parking, we're even supporting parking space detection camera compatibility on the same EVS. So each SATA slot can go up to, I think, right now 18 TB. We also introduced 20 TB, but not yet supported on the new on our EVS storage. So we have this variation that you can use. So in this case, we're going to cover these 3 parts: the overview, the highlights, and then the products we have for EVS. So the overview, we cover the overview itself, the advantages, and the solution application. So we are looking at these attributes. So it's a professional network storage product. It gives us dual storage. We can give it at IPSAN or network storage, and then direct storage. So then we have a comparison matrix here in terms of data storage, capacity, and then the price advantage. Looking at EVS, you'll realize it is standard. If you look at NVR, the price advantage is better, but in terms of storage capacity, it is low. Recording capacity is also low. Then for cloud storage, the price advantage is not there, it's very low. But now, data protection is high, capacity is high. So for cloud storage, the only challenge you would have is the price. It's too expensive to handle. So that's why we have EVS taking the overall average management and on the different levels. Then advantages you would have is system stability. So these are high-level processing servers. Then you have powerful storage capacity. We support private ONVF and RTSP protocol. So if your camera can provide these streams, it doesn't necessarily have to be Dahua. Then we can support the different protocols that you have. Then we have the hard disk storage, 16 up to 85 hard disks and up to 18 TB per slot, both SATA and SAS based on the storage server that you choose. Then data security, we support different RAIDs starting from RAID 0 up to RAID 60. Then we also do N+M dual controllers on EVS to do hot standby. Then in terms of maintenance, we do real-time monitoring and alarms for the whole machine status. The application, we have two applications for EVS. Number one is this, where we have the EVS itself with the camera, AI camera and NVR added to EVS. We can access by EVS web or integrate with DSS and then display on video through the direct stream storage mode. Then we have standard IP SAN mode, where we have the camera, VMS, and EVS doing the streams and all that. Then the highlights we have on EVS, we have the hardware itself is modular. If this power supply is faulty, instead of replacing the whole server or the whole board, we just replace the power supply. So that is the modular design. Then we have failover support for N+M, so that if one server fails, a backup server still continues to run. Then we can extend expansion using the ESS and expansion cabinets. Then we support direct storage. Then AI IPC, so we can support AI from the cameras that support AI. Then we have RAID support, and also for in terms of maintenance, the design of the client makes it easy to maintain and support. Then for direct storage mode, you look at the capability starting from 5 series, 800 Mbps, then 71 series, 1024 Mbps, 72 and 82 series support 2048 Mbps. In terms of the cameras itself, 5 series, 50 and 51, we usually support 320 cameras. 71 series support 512 cameras or channels. Let me call it channels because we can also add NVR with a specific number of channels. Then 72 and 82 support 1024 channels per server. So it is more stable, and also in terms of cost, it reduces the cost, the overall cost of the system. So traditionally, this is what we used to have. You have the cameras added to an picture or storage server, then it goes to SAN and NAS. But nowadays, we just get the cameras and we add directly to EVS. Then in terms of the hardware itself, this is what I was talking about, the modular design. This card goes faulty, no need to replace the whole thing. You just replace this specific card. Then in terms of controllers, we have the first controller and the second controller, so that if the main controller fails, the sub-controller continues working until we replace. Then we have AI IP cameras. So we have the different functions, which will share these presentations after the training, and then we're able to tell, let's say, NPR by camera, we can support thermal fire alarm, search, call detection, smoking detection. So this is front-end intelligence, the camera intelligence that we pull to EVS and we can still analyze on DSS. Then in terms of failover, we always do like multiple groups, N+M. So the first group running and the sub group running. So if the first group fails, the second group picks up. Anyway, under normal operation, we'll replicate. We'll have storage here and also backup on the second bit. So we can have that kind of support. Then we have dual active controllers, so that when the main controller fails, the sub-controller picks. Then we look at RAID. So we compare RAID. RAID is redundant array of independent disks. Generally, it gives us security so that we can store data and back it up in different cases. So with RAID, you can always check Then we always recommend adding one hot spare hard disk. Why we add this is if, let's say you are doing a 16 hard disk bay, then you do 5 groups, 5 hard disk RAID and 1 hot spare. If one disk failed on the third group, the hot spare picks up until you replace that hard disk, so that data security is really high and you don't lose your data. Then in terms of comparison for the different RAIDs groups we have performance, cost, and reliability. So in terms of reliability, of course, RAID 1 is really good. Then we have RAID 6, RAID 5, and RAID 10. Then in terms of performance, RAID 10, RAID 5, and RAID 0. Then in terms of cost, we have RAID 0, RAID 5, and RAID 6. So if we compare this, we land with RAID 5 at the center, which gives us an optimized storage. Then for RAID technology to work well, we have enterprise level hard disks that we use for stability, especially with RAID. Then in terms of storage extension, we have SAS, mini SAS, so we can add some external storage cabinets and expand to maybe memory up to 384 TB, supporting 200 cameras at 2 MP, recording up to 192 days. So it's based on the server that we can even support. But again, the choice of EVS gives us the expansion we can get. Like 5 series, they don't support extension. 7 series, 71, 24, 36, and 48. Also 71, 24 with dual controller. They support expansion of 2 ESS models. Then with dual controller, only 1 with up to 8 TB per slot. Then in terms of maintenance, we always monitor the network status, the cases, fault on the devices, the remote cameras, the status of RAID, and also the recording status. When you have incidents, maybe it's not working, we get to respond and fix such kinds of issues when they come up, instead of just being in the dark for the same. Then moving forward, we have the naming rule for EVS, then the family itself, the new products, and competition. So the naming rule, this is the naming rule based on EVS, the series itself, then the generation. So currently we have first generation EVS, and then second generation, and third generation. Then the number of hard disks from 16 up to 85. Then in terms of functions, we have single controller, dual controller, and dual processor. Of course, when you add more functions, the cost also goes higher. Then in terms of power supply, we have redundant power supply. Then the product family, we have the variation. So this is the physical appearance of the different versions of EVS. All models support 10G optical fiber interface, except for EVS 5 series. This one only does not have 10G, but these others, we can also use 10G. Then in terms of comparison, we have the different comparisons in terms of the memory itself. We can do up to 64 GB. Then 7.2 can go up to 128. 8 series can go up to 256. Then some other functions, things like NAS, we support FTP, Samba, and NFS for all our storage servers. So you can use this EVS for video storage. At the same time, you can also use it maybe for network storage or file share in your organization. At the same time, you can also do it in dual mode, where we do file share for a specific, then we also do CCTV storage. So the applications are endless for this kind of storage solution. Then in terms of features, 7.2 series gives us 4U space on your cabinet. So it's a big storage server. Even the weight is also high. Then supports up to 18 TB, large capacity enterprise hard disks. Then we have the RAID introduction. So that's just configuration of RAID. Also the features for 8.2 up to 256 GB memory, 2048 cameras or channels, accessing storage, forwarding network bandwidth, then the capacity we have, then of course they all support a client which you can easily manage the server. Look at the competition we have. So we have some other models from HK, but the advantage we get is the different slots. Like for DSA 83 series, we give them more hard disk slot. They are only limited to 24 hard disks for all of them. Then for A71 and A81, we give you better RAID up to RAID 60. Then we do up to 48 hard disks. Then for the single controller, we give up to RAID 60 and up to 48 hard disks. Then some successful cases. I'll just say in Kenya, we have deployed some EVS. I'll not be looking at these other details so much. We've deployed for a bank. We've deployed for an airport project. We've deployed in also other organizations and companies here in Kenya, and also some other locations in East Africa. So we have at least some successful cases on this storage. We also have one here in the event you need to play around and learn how it works. I can give you a remote environment for that. Then we have the Safe City project. We have deployed multiple nodes with multiple storage. I will call it the 10M storage for Safe City. Then we have the casino project. Even here in Kenya, we've done casino projects with this kind of storage. So that covers the second bit of the training on EVS. Then the last bit we would have is for display, mainly looking at how we integrate now the whole solution. You've looked at DSS, you've looked at this, and now we look at display itself as a concept. So this is what we have, the LCD video promotion that I have here. This is what I'm going to cover, the market itself, then some products that you understand, then the application case, and of course some success cases. Again, I'll mention we've already done this here, so we have. So in the forecast of the global market share, the most cost-effective is LCD. Of course, in terms of durability and performance, we have LED, which you can also provide, and we have some cases, but LCD is cost-friendly and also durable. With variation test report on mean time before failure. Then the trend in terms of value, we have different panel sizes starting from 46-inch, 49. We introduced the 55-inch 4K this year, and then the 65-inch. Then in terms of bezel width, how slim the lines between the different videos, we have 3.5, 1.74, and 1.7, and then 0.8, still giving you better price, and also the resolution is support full HD and also 4K. Then in terms of brightness, we support 500 and 700 nits for that. So we can, even under low light perform areas, we can still give better display. Then the trend we've had cases from 2015 to 2023, our market trend has been growing up to 800,000 USD for display. Then the product itself, we have different products. We have monitors. Of course, we provide monitors, but we give also the LCD display unit for display. So for our monitor family, we start from 19-inch up to 98 inches based on what you prefer. But now the bezel for monitors is bigger. Then the brightness is relatively lower compared to the LCD display unit, which start from 46 to 65-inch, and variation in terms of the bezel width. And then the installation methods we have two. We have the floor standing method, where we install a pedestal or a stand on the ground, then we put the videos. We also have wall mounted, which comes in two versions. We have the fixed wall mount and also the front maintenance, where you pop up and then you can access the rear of the video. So the choice of this also is influenced by the solution itself and also the cost. Then we support some highlights that you'll know, the sizes, which mentioned the brightness, contrast ratio of 1000 to 1, 1100 and 1200 to 1. Then we have it being backlit with LED backlight. We have 178 degrees horizontal and vertical angle of view and 8 milliseconds response and refresh rate. We support different input types. We have DP, HDMI, VGA, DVI, CVBS, and USB. Then in terms of audio, we support audio in and out. Then we have different IR, remote control, and RS-232. Then we have the installation mode, both wall mounted and floor. Then in terms of mean time before failure, is 50,000 hours. You can convert this to years and see what is expected as turnover for the videos. Then we have the naming rule, of course. All our products have naming rule, starting with DHI for the brand, Dahua Overseas. Then we have LS for LCD video. Then we have 460 for 46-inch, 490, 49-inch, 550 for 55-inch, and 650. Then it's either U or K. U being 1080 or Full HD, then K being 4K. Then the seam or the bezel, 0.5 to 1 millimeter, we call it E, then D and C, based on the different width. Then we have the different brightness, high brightness, and standard brightness as M. Then we have basic, essential, and ultra series. Of course, basic series are more cost-friendly, while ultra series, the price range is slightly higher. Then we have 3 types of panels, the PVA, IPS, and ADS. Then for this video product family, we have the bezel width of 0.8 at only ultra and essential. Then 1.7 and 1.74, also the same case, but now the 1.7 we also have 4K UHD. Then 3.5 also you have 4K ultra high definition. Then the features we have is industrial grade, various size. I think most of these I've already touched on. Then some highlights you get from this is you can just use the built-in daisy chain kind of deployment where we first connect the HDMI or DP input to the first monitor. We connect the second monitor, third monitor, and fourth monitor. With this, we can use built-in HDMI to do daisy chain. Then we do color uniformity calibration, so we do it from the factory. Then installation, we have floor standing, which the appearance would look like this. This is the typical, even deployed here. Actually, this picture is from a case in Kenya. Then we have, I can share the installation guide videos in the event you need. So we have simple wall mounted, where we just fix it in the wall. Then we have the front maintenance type, where this is the simple, we install a wall mounted bracket, but we can pop out and display whatever we need with these videos. Then we have different attributes in terms of product selection, which from the company itself, we can support on. Then some features, we have cost effectiveness, but the application areas we have maybe in commercial buildings, in shopping malls, at financial centers, maybe in hotels, school, airport, such kinds of applications. Then we have ultra also, essential, the same application range. Then the ultra series mainly in command centers and monitoring center because of the 24/7 operation requirement. Then we have this IR controller box. So understanding a video will deploy on the wall, but now you need to manage, maybe control these screens. So we can use this IR controller box to control instead of pressing the remote and it's not affecting. Then the product series, we have like this, 4K, 55-inch. So we have this in Ultra HD resolution. Then we have Full HD, 46-inch. So it's also based on the surveillance system you are running that will give you the choice, the video. Then the application areas. So these are typical deployment where we would have the NVRs to the network, wireless system to the network keyboard and to the network. Then we connect to the controller, which will be video controller, which can be a decoder or a matrix based on the number of screens and also the resolution needed to display. Then we connect to the video, and then we have a complete surveillance. Then we also have this kind of exhibition hall for display, where we can use maybe digital signage. We can also use video controller to output through the media player. Then we have MPS to share advertisements and all that. Then we have in the conference training room, we just input and connect to the network, then give an output through HDMI or wireless signals. Then the different scenarios, I think we've already touched on this. Then some success cases. Here in Kenya, we've had some success cases at bank, at government office, and all that. So we have different cases. So some enterprise surveillance center, enterprise exhibition hall, smart city project. So we have multiple display showcase for this. So I think this brings me to the end of today's training, and I'll take this time to ask if anyone has questions. Kindly just ask so that we're able to respond to them and finish this training. So I will allow questions if anyone has.
Well, thank you. And if I may start the first question. I hope you can hear me well. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. And you know the reason we first of all, thank you for the training, and then the reason we requested for this training is that client asked is already using DSS Express.
Okay.
So they're already using.
Oh, you're already using DSS Express?
Yes. Another client and another company did it for them. So now they asked us to install another. It's bank actually. They have at least 7 branches in the city.
Okay.
So they want to monitor all those, and they already monitor at least 6 of those offices in one place. So now what we need now is that the technicality of connecting those cameras in one place. For example, and there's a new branch which will have 28 cameras, and they want us to add those 28 cameras in their main office. We need the technicality.
Okay. So for that application, let me just bring this back up because it's a bank.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. This will be the typical deployment you would have for your case in the event they are still expanding. I can use this where you have deployed the server itself, and then you have the devices. So the whole point is you just have the devices on the network. So let's say you have the second site. We can just add, then add to DSS. Then for you to display, you have a decoder. In this case, I think I saw a decoder on the requirement. So we connect the decoder to the network and connect it to your monitors, and then you still do monitoring. Then in terms of support for this, I think we can avail someone to help you do configurations remotely, even if you need, and also provide training for any other external requirements. I hope that answers the concern you have. I'll also share the smart bank solution. Maybe let me just see if I can pull it up. If we have any other question while I'm looking, we can.
And sorry, still on the same topic.
Yes.
This job when this project we are going to start as soon as maybe next Sunday or Saturday. We
Okay.
already signed that contract. So we don't have that much time, my friend. And the only thing missing is that how the technical what we and the roadmap we are going to follow in order for us to add those cameras to. They already have their encoder, they have their server, they already using. They have 6 screens and